WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly,
the longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Because that's what this show's about. That's what we've been doing for over 16 years.
No. It's about sports entertainment.
And now here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon and Lucas DeSangro.
Will you stop marking out over there?
Sorry.
Move over, kid. I'm taking your microphone.
You're shallow, you know that?
I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. I don't remember what the hell I do anymore.
Shut up!
There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you, with in-studio guest and phone guest. Shaking things up a little bit. First off on the phone, we've got Lucas.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. And then in studio, we've got new Lucas, also known as Ryan.
Hey, everyone.
I've been bamboozled. I don't like it.
You've been bamboozled?
Yes.
How so?
Because I'm feeling bad. I've missed the past few shows. I don't want to keep missing. And it's just, you've replaced me. I don't like it.
Well, what can I say? Everything changes today, right?
Yeah, but not my spot on the show.
Everything changes, a reference to the Monster Factory event going on tonight down at the world-famous Monster Factory, 541 Mancho Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey, where Twitch, I figured your mind was at, which is why I hadn't heard from you until about 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Pulling an Eric Bischoff, giving me the 3-minute warning.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah, yes.
No, I was so focused on the disloyalty of one person, I almost was disloyal myself, and I don't want to do that. I want to do right by my friends, so...
Yeah, you don't want any other partnerships to break up.
Yeah, no. But if it did break up, unlike Travis Jacobs, my opponent, I would at least look you in the eyes, shake your hand like a man, and say, I think it's best we just go our separate ways. But that's not happening, ever. Or at least anytime soon.
Are you kidding? It'd be more like when Savage went to WCW. Like, would he shake his hand or will he slap his face? What'll he do with Hogan? Okay, I think I lost you on that one, but...
No, I understood the reference, but I'm thinking I know who would do the handshake, who would do the slapping. I'd be the one shaking the hand.
Dig it. Anyway, so I hear that you'll only be joining us for the first segment or maybe two of the show here.
Just about, maybe, most likely just the first segment. But,
First segment-ish? Okay, so in that case, since I have a lengthy thing planned for the second segment here that's going to involve our young friend Ryan here, we're taking things to the movies.
Ooh.
Taking a look at wrestlers in cinema in historical context. And little did I know how historical of a context it was.
Oh.
But we'll delve into that a little bit later here. But for now, we've got a big pay-per-view event coming up tomorrow. Tables and ladders and chairs, oh my.
Yes.
And that means that we've got predictions, or at least we should here. So where to start here? We've got, I'm sure you know, but just in case you don't, we have 12 matches on the card.
Wow.
Yeah, not quite WrestleMania 4, but pretty close. 14 matches. No,
Wow.
Yeah, so I was going to say, I don't believe that they've, to my knowledge, announced which one of these is going to kick it off, probably because they're still determining it themselves. But I'll go in the order I have it on the sheet here, which jumps around kind of all over the place and even has some main event type things potentially in the middle here. So first off, we've got the finals of the long-awaited for it to finally end, Mixed Match Challenge.
It's been quite entertaining. Sorry, I'm getting my merchandise ready. I'm taping T-shirts together. I don't know if you...
we heard it. I wasn't sure what it was. I was just going to let it go, but since you brought it up, we'll just acknowledge it and move on. So you've got Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox, or Mahalisha as they've as they've been known, taking on R-Truth and Carmella.
Oh, God, I hope Carmella and R-Truth win.
Was that who you're going with for your pick?
Oh, my God, yeah. They have been so entertaining, especially Truth. His Survivor Series segments just alone should win him that mixed match challenge. That was I thought what would have been great is that he would have showed up in the 205 Live locker room afterwards. You're like, you're not even on the weight limit. What are you doing, Truth?
Well, I thought he's looked pretty trim. Well, maybe not 205 trim, but that notwithstanding, because the number 30 spot in the Royal Rumble, the respective Royal Rumbles, the men's and women's are on the line here. For that reason, I'm leaning toward Jinder and Fox. So we'll see. You've bested me by 2 picks throughout the year here, so I need to shake it up here if I'm going to overtake. Not quite like Vinnie Mac, but we'll get into that a little bit later too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, the short version is he's coming back this Monday to shake things up.
Ah, right.
All right.
About shaking things up, it's me. Tourette's joke. Yay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Ryan, I like him already. I'm starting to like him better. He laughed. I heard him laugh.
I did laugh. I wasn't containing it in.
He's becoming more outgoing. See what a couple of weeks here will do? He's getting more comfortable here.
Don't get too comfortable, kid. That chair's still mine.
We'll see about that.
All right, then.
Ronda Rousey defending the Raw Women's Championship against Nia Jax.
Ooh. Is there any stipulation, or it's just
From everything that I've seen, it is just a straight-up women's title match.
I think Rousey.
Yeah, I'm going with that as well here. That's what I'm looking at.
It'll be. I hope it'll be as good as their match in Money in the Bank, though. I hope that happens because they had a really good match, really, really good.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. It is very intriguing to see how things are going to be going here with that.
Yes.
But no, I'm just double checking myself here. Yep, Raw Women's Championship, no stipulations at hand here. Now this one, however, this next match has a litany of stipulations. Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin, and it is going to be in a tables, ladders, and chairs match, where if Braun Strowman wins, he will receive a championship shot at the Universal title against Brock Lesnar. And along with that, but wait, there's more, Baron Corbin will be stripped of all authoritative power.
Strowman, definitely.
However, if Corbin wins, he will become the full-time general manager of Raw.
Strowman.
Elbow injury and all, you're going Strowman, and so am I.
Oh, God. I hope that's, I like Baron Corbin as, he's good as being a heel, especially as being a smarmy jerk as a GM, but I can't do this whole authority. Everyone's trying to recreate Stone Cold Steve Austin, and no one knows how to do it right.
The whole Austin McMahon authority, anti-establishment authority type thing?
They've been trying to do it for the past 20 years. There's no recreating it. Or
Indeed.
No, not 20, sorry, 10 years. Past decade.
Yeah, 10, maybe 15. I mean, Austin hasn't wrestled in 15 years, so that's why I'm giving it that.
Mostly 20.
Mostly 20 years. Alrighty, we're only a quarter of the way through here. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. This one I'm sure has major implications for you here with your respective or prospective dad. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship.
Dad Ambrose all the way, baby. Come on, Dad.
Okay, I am going with Rollins on that.
No, because you see, I think Rollins is going to... I feel like Rollins within Mania season will be in contention for the Universal title. I just feel like...
We'll see. There could be a shot for... maybe he loses it at the Rumble and goes from there. Come on, Dad, he says.
I know I haven't spoken to you since Christmas of my birth, but it's cool.
Man, you're right up there with your Pro Wrestling Weekly schedule here in terms of. No, too soon.
I'll be your dad when the Angels win the pennant. Is something he told me once. I don't know what it meant.
So that would have been 2002, I think. Wasn't they won the World Series? Okay, never mind.
He still hasn't come home. Okay.
This is going down in flames quickly. Let's move on here. Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles for the WWE Championship.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I want Styles, but I'm thinking Bryan. So I'm going to go with Bryan as my pick. Pick with my head instead of my heart.
I picked with both this time. Bryan.
Oh, there you go.
Thing that.
Good on you.
Thank you. The thing that or I guess is peculiar to me is where does Styles go after this?
Interesting question. And maybe that'll be answered with this presumed shakeup that'll be coming on Monday after the TLC pay-per-view.
Ooh, can we have Balor and Styles feud, please?
Well, we'll see. But first, Finn Balor has to get through Drew McIntyre, whom he faces tomorrow night.
I really want to pick Balor, but I feel like McIntyre's on a roll. He's another one that's going to be like a top contender for the Universal title.
Most certainly, and that's where I agree wholeheartedly there. Now to the SmackDown Ladies Championship Triple Threat TLC match. And the big thing to that is this is the first ever women's TLC match.
Yeah.
Yes, the women are going at it in that barbaric with the tables and the ladders and the chair. Ryan has wide eyes as this is awe-inspiring to him.
Yeah, I didn't know this was the first with women.
Yeah, there has been a lot of that over the course of the last couple of years. A lot of firsts in that the women are doing a lot of what the men have been doing in terms of some of the more extreme type matches. And excelling in such.
Huh, nice.
I actually believe I found out a little bit of insight, just real quick.
Okay.
That has to do with why WWE doesn't do intergender matches. Apparently, from what I've found on sources like Cultaholic, is their toy deal with Mattel, oddly enough. Meaning, like, because they have a very lucrative deal with Mattel toys. I would know. I do consume a lot of that product. The reason, I guess, the whole thing is they just don't want to have any violence portrayed with, like, man-on-women violence. They found a way to work around it, obviously, with Mania this year, where Ronda Rousey beat the crap out of Triple H, which was great. But they just don't want to. They don't want, like, a serious intergender style match.
They don't want to harken back to the days of, say, October of '99 with the Jeff Jarrett and Chyna Good Housekeeping match.
No.
Which actually, that was going to come up in conversation later, so that's a little bit of a teaser in this case. Because I can tell Ryan's already like, Good Housekeeping match? What is that about? We'll get into it.
Yeah, okay.
There's a lot of bad that comes with the good, Ryan.
Yes.
Okay. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. This is based off an interview that Jeff Jarrett had backstage at SmackDown this past week, as he happened to be in town. But we'll save that for when you're off the phone here.
Yeah.
Because I know you have like time and things going on here. So, yes, to that Triple Threat TLC match, Becky Lynch defending the SmackDown Women's title against Charlotte Flair and Asuka.
I'd pick Asuka. Because then it also could set up for perhaps Becky and or Charlotte winning the Rumble. Well, not and or either Becky or Charlotte winning the Rumble and then going to face Rousey.
Interesting. I don't know why I think because of the momentum for her, I'm going with Lynch to retain. I think just because of the triple threat aspect of it, I could easily see Flair negating Asuka or vice versa and Lynch sneaking out there with the title.
Here's the thing, because we really wanted to see Lynch versus Rousey, and I'm sure they could set something up where maybe it's a triple threat for the Raw Women's title at Mania or something like that. But Asuka is insanely over with the crowd on SmackDown Live, and it would just be so. It'd be great for her to finally win a title on the main roster. So I just have a feeling. Plus, Lynch might still be a little bit banged up, and they might want to hide that a little bit, which is why they might have made it a triple threat. I don't know.
There's a possibility of that, absolutely. That being said, I'm gonna go with Lynch and probably try by the sword or something like that.
It really does. It hurts me to not pick my girl Becky, but I can't.
You can't.
Ain't.
Alrighty, we've got 5 more to go here. So another one whom you're a fan of, I think, well, maybe not because of the potential competition on the 6th string. One Elias taking on Bobby Lashley in a ladder match.
Yeah. I really don't. I don't want to sound like a jerk when I say, because I don't want to make it sound like I don't care. But it's like, I just haven't been paying attention to that feud.
Well, this particular ladder match, it's not necessarily a, I know
the
climb up.
stipulation.
Yeah, a guitar will be suspended above the ring, and the first to retrieve it can use it as a weapon. So it's almost like a guitar, a 6-string on a string match.
Okay, that was good. That was good. I'll have to give you props on that, regrettably, but I will.
Damn right, it was good. Anyway.
I think, can I just defer on this one?
You're deferring?
Yeah, I don't know. Fine.
I'm going with
Lashley.
Lashers. Okay, so we're
Lashley.
both going with Lashley on that. Okay. Alrighty, then we go to the cruiserweights.
Ooh.
Buddy Murphy and Cedric Alexander for the cruiserweight championship.
The fans win that one.
Yeah, just straight up, no chicanery, no stipulations, just a one-on-one match.
Oh, these two, Buddy Murphy has really just fit his role nicely as being like that surprise breakout star of 205 Live, coming from Blake and Murphy, and me for a while thinking it's pretty much, I don't know how long he's going to be back on the roster. I would say that Buddy Murphy retains.
And that's what I'm going with as well. So we're agreeing with most of the picks. All right, 3 more to go here. We're going back to little bits of chicanery here. First, we've got a triple threat match for the SmackDown tag titles. You've got Sheamus and Cesaro, the Bar, against the New Day of some combination of Big E, Kofi Kingston, and or Xavier Woods, and the Usos, Jimmy and Jay Uso.
Shocking! Wow. It's almost like there aren't any other tag teams on SmackDown.
Huh.
It's the same. I'm glad. Look, I'm just glad that the Bar being tag team champions. I'm picking the Bar. It's just, but they have to start putting more tag teams in feuds for a title. The Usos and the New Day, while they are some of the most entertaining teams on television, but it's like I can't watch that match anymore. I really can't.
You're getting a little overload of it?
Dude, they outdid that match at last year's Hell in a Cell, that match was fantastic. I don't want to see that anymore. Give it some time to breathe.
Fair enough. I'm also, to the surprise of very few, going with the Bar. Anyway, now we've got more of the
and your
themed
liver's
matches
my
here.
favorite on the Usos and the New Day. Oh, give it a rest.
Fair enough. Alrighty, then we're going to go to the tables match. Natalya against Ruby Riott. Ladies in tables match action.
Can I just say how much I love Ruby Riott as a heel right now? I just adore her. She's just so good at being evil. She's so good at making people despise her. I don't know if you saw Raw, but she pretty much got a table and had Jim Neidhart's, almost like a cardboard cutout picture, like that sort of thing.
Yeah,
that size.
yeah, one of the pop-up cardboard things.
Table.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she said, I'm going to put you through this table so you can be closer with your father.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I see how you like it. For me, it's in that
makes you
uncomfortable.
Exactly, which is what you need to be these days as a heel. You do. That's what you need to be. It makes her just awful, and that's exactly what you need. It's good heat, Bubba, as the Iron Sheik would say.
And somewhere at home, Lucas was taking diligent notes.
I'm on the phone.
Well, no, I meant Monday when you were watching it. Until diligent notes in terms of heelishness.
Yeah, I don't.
If where you were going with that was one of the rare times that you do take notes, then okay. But
I was gonna say I don't need any more reasons to have people not like me. I think I can do just fine on my own without those notes.
A natural talent.
Yes, of unlikability. Like I was born with it. Well, I mean... Okay.
No, it was just Maybelline.
No, Tourette's. It was Tourette's.
Fair enough. They're not sponsoring the show, by the way. And finally, a chairs match between Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton. I'm going with Orton because...
Yeah. Talk about another person who's really good at being despicable. I'm picking Orton as well.
And you're just shooting for the stars there. You're loving Ruby Riott, loving Randy Orton. You're loving all the despisables.
Because can I just it's not that I love them, but I love how they're you can where in an era where I thought you can't really have any good heels anymore. I sort of understand why people cheer the heels, because it's like an appreciation of, oh, you're really good at being a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how you're supposed to express that. But yeah. I just enjoy good, evil. You know, I enjoy people who are good at being evil. It's refreshing. It's someone I can actually hate, other than I'm booing you because you're evil, not because you stink.
Yeah, something to be said about that.
Yeah.
So there we go. There are the 12 picks for Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Or not Hell in a Cell. I'm having
TLC.
a Freudian slip moment here. TLC. I'm tired. More so than usual. And not just of you. So I reeled it back in.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm trying to update the birthdays you jerk bit.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to have... Yes.
You've got to get going. You got to get ready for your match against Travis Jacobs tonight in the grudge match, and I get to go call that, and we'll see how that goes as everything changes.
Yeah, best of luck to
Except for
you.
me getting thrown around like a rag doll. That'll never change.
But somehow you'll work
Hello?
toward the win here.
Yeah. I didn't say I was going to lose. I just said I was going to get thrown around. I know that. Right.
And then you'll have to face TJ. No.
Yeah.
Good times. All right, Lucas. Well, good luck tonight. We'll see you down there. Thank you for chiming in a little bit, and maybe we'll see you next week.
Hopefully. Good luck to you.
We'll see
and
how
Ryan,
things change.
the rest of the show. Yeah.
Alrighty, so Lucas heading on out of here. We are beyond late for a timeout here, so we're going to take care of that and come back with a new wrinkle to the show here to get Ryan to chime in a little bit more here, because, well, we understand that a lot of the wrestling stuff is over his head.
Yeah, I don't get much context of it.
But I figure we'll go to something that you have a little more context in, movies, and how wrestlers have related in the movies over the years. And
yeah, can't wait to talk about it.
there was some interesting things that I found in doing the research for this where even I went, I had no idea about this. So we've got that coming up, plus some other news, notes, and various things, including a former WWE wrestler who, suffered a debilitating ailment at an event not too far from here. We'll get into that and more on the other side. Plus, we'll get the look at the local scene from Ed from Northeast Philly on the other side as well. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
The last thing I remember, I was outside Chicky and Pete's.
Of course, George. Chicky and Pete's is Philadelphia's most decorated and award-winning restaurant.
I give each of the kids a Chicky and Pete's gift card. It's the gift that always fits.
It's almost as good as getting your wing.
Yeah, that's right, Clarence. You can get your wings at Chicky's, and crab fries and lobster pizza and a hot beef sandwich.
You see, George, it really is a wonderful place, this Chicky and Pete's.
Hi, this is Chris Ermer, the host of Upwards here on WBCB. Each Tuesday at 1, we feature health and wellness tips with Maureen Solomon from the Philadelphia Protestant Home, the latest consumer protection news and info from consumer advocate Mike Bannon, and so much more. Find out about fundraisers, big and small, volunteer opportunities, local entertainment, arts and culture stuff, all that and more on Upwards. Join us Tuesdays at 1 on WBCB.
Hi, this is Smilin' Lou Powers, host of Sunshine Music Memories, Music Talk, and Showtime, wishing all of our WBCB listeners the best for the holiday season and a prosperous new year.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455.
He's got the Luigi death stare from Fearon, so he might have...
I didn't give you the Luigi death stare. That's not true.
Breaking kayfabe.
Breaking kayfabe. Gonna break something else during this commercial.
There we go. That's what I like to see.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Are we getting into that controversy again?
I know how it feels, and it's not fun.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside, well, Lucas had to dip out here, but we've got, I know I've been jokingly calling him New Lucas, but the physical resemblance is striking. That's where a lot of that comes from. But Ryan, which I didn't realize that there was a nickname to you here, but you prefer to go by Mitch.
You bet.
All right, so we're going with that. I tend to roll with the punches here and hope not to get knocked to the ground by all that nonsense going down, as the Isley brothers sang about in Fight the Power. Yes, there was a word that I had to edit there, but that's that way Ted doesn't come running in here. You're killing me. All right, so before we get into the segment that I was looking to, a little new wrinkle to the show here, let's go ahead and get a look at the local scene, what all's going on here, courtesy of Ed from Northeast Philly. Ed, welcome to the program.
Good afternoon. Impact Wrestling don't have a homecoming card this coming January on pay-per-view.
Alrighty.
I don't know if you had the lineup in front of you. Anyway, it's Tessa Blanchard versus Tyler Thackeray, with Gail Kim as a special referee for the Knockouts Championship. The Impact World Champion Johnny Impact versus Brian Cage for the World Championship. Lucha Brothers against LAX for the tag belts, and a Monsters Ball match. Abyss and Eli Drake.
Yeah, they're calling it homecoming because they're going back to Nashville, Tennessee, where their initial where they initially started back in the early 2000s, and it's the first time that they will be in the Nashville area since they were at the fairgrounds in 2004.
And Ultimate X was just added.
Yes, the Vacant Impact X Division Championship. Jake Christ, Ethan Page, Rich Schwann, and Trey Miguel. So those all should be, that should be pretty interesting. That's coming up on January 6th.
I think they're going to add maybe 1 or 2 more matches. I think that's 4 or 5 now.
They have 5 set up at the moment, so probably another 2, maybe 3. And
you said that pay-per-view TLC. I think that was a 5-hour pay-per-view tomorrow.
According to WWE's listing, they've got the pre-show starting at 6 p.m., and it'll go till 7, and they have it, at least officially in WWE, listed as a 3.5-hour-ish. So it'll go from 7 till about 10:30. I don't think it's going to necessarily be well, I mean, they haven't even done WrestleMania was the last time they did 5 hours, and I don't think they're going that deep into it necessarily. They'll save that for this coming April.
Anyway, speaking of WWE, Raw's tickets are already on sale for Philly on March 4th at the Wells Fargo Center, and SmackDown the next night at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay, just a couple of hours up the road, not too far of a trek. They're kind of hitting the Northeast before about a month before WrestleMania, which will be in North Jersey at MetLife Stadium.
And I think they might have a pay-per-view the night before Raw.
I forget off the top of my head. I'm going to quick dig that up here. Because I can't immediately recall, but let's see here. Looks like you said March 4th is going to be the Raw, so that's actually going to be the go-home Raw to that following Sunday, March 10th, where Fastlane will emanate from the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, Ohio.
I know they're doing something in February, but with pay-per-views, I wasn't sure if they were doing a March pay-per-view.
They are. So the lineup as it stands for 2019 following TLC here is going to be January 27th is the Royal Rumble in Phoenix. Then February 17th will be Elimination Chamber in Houston. Then Fastlane on March 10th in Cleveland. And then WrestleMania 35 at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And the only other announced pay-per-views for 2019 are SummerSlam, that's going to be in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And that's in August. And then the 2019 Survivor Series will be in the Allstate Arena in Rosemont, suburban Chicago, Illinois.
Last year, I remember they leaked it too early, all the lineup.
Yeah, I think they're being a little tighter to the vest with that. So, I mean, the ones that are here, they have been announced.
Yeah, they probably learned a lesson.
One would think.
And there was final battle at the arena tonight with ROH with a 6 p.m. bell time.
Yes, coming off of the heels of the Final Battle pay-per-view last night, so the TV tapings will be at the 2300 Arena.
I'm not going to give any spoilers out.
Just in case those who have missed it, and that if they really want to know, they'll look something up to kind of prep for tonight.
And in Derby, PA, they'll have an Extreme Xmas with some of the ex-ECW guys.
Huh.
Like Shane Douglas, New Jack, Too Cold Scorpio, Todd Gordon.
Still going around and doing that here, even all these years later.
And possibly the same in Sabu.
Oh my goodness. Start to get worried after a little bit here.
What?
I start to get worried about those guys after a little bit here. I mean, they've been going with that hardcore style now for closing in on 25 years. Yeah.
And he's not a young boy anymore. or young man.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, to give you an idea, 25 years ago, I was just entering middle school. So a lot of time flies by, and as I say that, I kind of grimace a little bit at the thought of it.
And Lucas wasn't even born yet. I don't.
No, Lucas was a few years removed from being born. Yes.
Delete that.
Yeah, exactly. We'll cut that in post. And yeah, Ryan wasn't even. No, or Mitch, I should say. Mitch. Old habits are dying hard here.
Yeah, just.
OPW Masters in the Mat is this coming Friday at the Monster Factory.
Oh, okay. That should be interesting. That's in our neck of the woods here.
Jimmy Lloyd, Nick Gage, and Drew Blood on.
Well, the factory certainly has become a destination and a hot spot as of late, and I think even more so after tonight, where everything changes.
And Super Fight is coming up too with MLW next year at February 2nd.
Yes, that's right. We've been dabbling about that, and I'll have to. I keep mentioning this, but I guess once the holidays roll out here, I'll have to outreach over to Court Bauer, who's in charge of all that, and see what kind of cross-promotional things we can do with that here.
And I was going to mention something, but I think you.
Yeah, I was going to say the time is moving by quickly here, so we're
about the ECW Arena incident.
Yeah, well, I was going to get. We'll save that for the other side. There's so much to get to on the other side here, but I do appreciate the call, and we'll catch up with you next week here, Ed.
Yeah, I'll save it for you.
There we go. Yeah, I appreciate that.
So long.
So thank you so much for chiming in. So yeah, we'll get into that unfortunate incident that occurred last Saturday. We'll get into that on the other side and a whole bunch more. But first. Well, there's a lot of holiday happenings over at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA, including not one but two bottle releases this week. First is Carl the Great, a smooth-as-silk Russian Imperial Stout aged in Jack Daniels barrels and blended to keep the bittersweet chocolate and roasted coffee notes in line with the oak, vanilla, and ever-so-slight dark cherry from the whiskey barrel. And just out today is Keeley. That's right, just released 42 minutes ago. The fifth in the Lonely Mountain series of beers. The elves in the back took a milkshake-style IPA with lactose, oat milk, and heavy dry hop and darkened it like that Black Arrow did to our intrepid adventurer so many moons ago. Hobbit references.
Yeah, I haven't watched The Hobbit, unfortunately.
Neither have I, but I just roll with it.
All right.
Plus, now is your chance to join the Irregulars Club at the Goblet. It doesn't take a three-eyed raven to know that it's a membership that comes with a full year of perks. It's all Game of Thrones themed this year.
Huh, Game of Thrones. Haven't watched that either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you? We'll save that for later.
Fantasy stuff. It's more sci-fi.
You're a reality guy. Okay. Nah, never mind. Also tonight, the Goblet is Holiday Heads Up with Reese, plus Die Hard on the big screen to get you into the holiday spirit. Actually, wait, Ted, just to make sure, is it okay to say the C word? All right, I'll check on that in the break. Also coming to the tap room soon, keeping in that particular holiday spirit, is Santa's Sleighs On, an ale brewed with blood orange, plum, and spruce spices, and currently on tap another nice spice in Old Toby, the Belgian ale brewed with basil. Yeah, great for those nights of pizza, stromboli, and other Italian dishes. Just a few reasons why it's always a good time at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Broken Goblet Brewing, the semi-official brewery of Pro Wrestling Weekly. Please enjoy responsibly. Coming back, we've got a lot to get into and hardly any time to do it. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard, is a great place to shop and eat with the following businesses ready to serve you. The AutoZone, PA Wine and Spirits, CVS Pharmacy, The Hair Cuttery, Nationwide Insurance, Liberty Auto Tags, Smile Culture Dental, the First National Bank and Trust Company of Newtown, Lee's Hoagie House, and Pat Dion Beverages. So remember to make Dion Square your first stop for all of your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
7 out of 10 parents in Pennsylvania don't secure their adult beverages, and that could open the door for a curious child to try them. Even if your alcohol is kept safely, is that the case at the friend's house hosting the sleepover? Find out what you need to know. Start the conversation to keep your child safe from underage drinking. Visit knowwhenknowhow.org. Sponsored by the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board.
All commentators heard on WBCB express their own views. Their opinions are not necessarily those of others on WBCB, including the staff and management.
Hey, this is Bill Clement, hoping you can join me every Wednesday night, 6 to 7 p.m. live from Chickies and Pete's as Independence Blue Cross presents Bill Clement's Hockey World. That is me, right? Yeah, right here, 1490 WBCB and 610 ESPN. And you can also watch the show at WBCBsports.com.
Experience the spirit of giving when you enter Flowers by Jenny Lynn. Whether it's for a wedding, a birthday, or just an I'm thinking of you, Flowers by Jenny Lynn has the perfect gift. Feast your eyes on the bright hues of the season in their fresh flower department. They also carry a wide variety of flowers daily from around the world, including tropical flowers, wildflowers, roses, and seasonal floral mixes for every taste. Flowers by Jenny Lynn also carries unique gifts like gourmet jams, candies, and cookies. Serving the area for over 25 years, Flowers by Jenny Lynn is your Fairless Hills florist. Stop by their beautiful shop to see for yourself, located at 100 Trenton Road in Fairless Hills, or check them out online at flowersbygennylynn.com. Give them a call today at 1-800-547-4551. The number again is 1-800-547-4551. Flowers by Jenny Lynn, the art of fresh flowers.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, December 15th. On this date in 1996, the WWF held its 12th In Your House pay-per-view, titled It's Time. In the main event, Psycho Sid pinned Bret Hart to retain the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 1997, WCW Monday Nitro aired live from Charlotte, North Carolina. In the main event, Ric Flair defeated Curt Hennig by disqualification. On this date in 2002, WWE held its Armageddon pay-per-view. In the main event, Triple H defeated Shawn Michaels in a 3 Stages of Hell match to win the World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 2013, WWE held its TLC Tables, Ladders, and Chairs pay-per-view. In the main event, Randy Orton defeated John Cena in a TLC match to unify the WWE and World Heavyweight Championships. This has been Today in Wrestling History, December 15th.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here alongside Mitch.
Hello again.
I'm remembering. It's a good thing here. So, a couple of things to get into. We've been teasing it a little bit over the course of the hour here. So, last Saturday at the House of Hardcore event here in Philadelphia at the 2300 Arena, former WWE wrestler Big Cass suffered a seizure during the event. Yeah, this is a legit thing. Yeah, Mike Johnson of PWInsider.com reports that Cass was walking to the lobby to sell merchandise during intermission when he collapsed. The good news is he was coherent by the time he was rushed by ambulance to a hospital.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah, best of recovery. I know that Big Cass has come under scrutiny a little bit on the thanks to the internet being mean as it is.
Of course.
Yeah, the internet
just
is
the internet. It's
yeah,
gonna be mean.
the internet. Yeah, haters gonna hate and all that type stuff.
Of course.
Alrighty, in other news here, we'll save the best for last here. So WWE wrestler Dolph Ziggler announced that he'll be starring in a comedy tour with supporting act Sarah Tiana in a few cities coming up in January, February, and March, and going pretty much all over the country. Phoenix, Arizona, Baltimore, Maryland, St. Louis, Missouri, Poughkeepsie, New York, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Cleveland, Ohio, as well as Toledo, Ohio. I mean, he is from Ohio after all. And even Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Now, the name Sarah Tiana may sound familiar. She's the one that he faced off against in Comedy Central's Roast Battle earlier this year.
Really?
Yeah,
huh?
that was the thing.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah, we played little bits of it that I actually could get away with playing on the air because there was definitely a lot of not safe for broadcast language on that.
Of course.
Also, well, we've talked for months about the decline in WWE's ratings, most notably for Raw, and well, WWE decided to break the fourth wall a bit using Seth Rollins, and I was going to play highlights, but for sake of time, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version, where he basically blamed Corbin and his insecurities for why people aren't watching Raw and the ratings are terrible, and he in criticizing, said, "What, are you going to fire me? Because if you fire everybody, what's it going to be? You, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre out here for 3 hours patting each other on the back? Yeah, that's really going to send ratings through the roof. Or how about we have more segments with urination jokes in them? Ha ha ha, so funny, so cutting edge." Despite all of that, Rollins and others took to Twitter to defend WWE's position, which started with Wrestling Observer reporter Brian Alvarez tweeting the story of Raw's ratings hitting another record low, averaging just 2.19 million viewers last Monday night. To give you an idea, when Raw was in its mainstream popularity in the late 80s, early 90s, they were averaging well over 10 million viewers.
Really?
Yeah, so it has dropped considerably. And he added the caption, "This is embarrassing." So former WWE creative member Jimmy Jacobs tweeted him with a response, "Writing a 3-hour wrestling TV show every single week is bleeping hard." And Rollins then followed up with an added point stating, "That's the one thing I don't think people understand. 5 hours of live TV every week. Every week. Add in all the extraneous variables that affect the final outcome, and it's a modern miracle that the shows come together as well as they do." Now, the overall issue that was brought out in great detail in the article by Nick Perkins on ProWrestling.net, but basically the 5 hours of weekly content isn't something that the fans are clamoring for. In fact, fans have been calling for less for quite a while.
Really?
3 hours of Monday Night Wrestling and 2 hours of Tuesday Night Wrestling, people feel like is too much of a good thing. And frankly, the only reason why there are 5 hours a week of live wrestling content, well, Vince McMahon can tell you himself.
It's all about the money. It's all about the money.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is the revenue that would be lost by subtracting an hour would not be worth the increase in quality, at least they feel, I guess, unless ratings reach a certain low point, but that's kind of hard to say. But despite that, thanks to the ratings, and we mentioned it earlier, WWE announced yesterday that Vince McMahon himself will appear on Monday's Raw to shake things up.
Shake things up, huh?
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
see if things
definitely.
are all shook up, Elvis style. Okay, maybe not. USA Network announced their schedule for WWE Week this coming week. The aforementioned Raw on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, SmackDown on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Wednesday brings a new wrinkle. No, not NXT this year, but instead Wednesday at 10 p.m. it's the New Day's WWE 2018 Pancake-Powered Year-End Super Spectacular. I don't even know where to begin trying to explain the context of that, so we're just, I'll save it. Yeah, for sake of time, we're saving it. Thursday, first at 9, it's the annual Tribute to the Troops special, followed at 11 by a marathon of Season 1 of Ms. and Mrs., wrestler The Miz and his wife Maurice, in a reality show. And then on Friday at 6 p.m., it's the movie San Andreas starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Ooh, I've seen that one.
And speaking of movies... this is part of a new occasional segment here in the show. I'm calling it the mainstream moment, a chance to tie in the world of professional wrestling to things more mainstream for those, like Mitch here, who don't quite follow wrestling.
Yeah, it's helpful.
Yeah, it'll help get you a little more involved and bridge the gap of understanding between things wrestling and non-wrestling related. So today we're having a chat about wrestlers in movies over the years. And... as I was researching this, I had quite a few, oh my goodness, I had no knowledge of this moments. But back in the day, wrestlers had character parts in movies, usually as some sort of a strongman. An early example of that was wrestler Mike Mazurki, who, back in the 1930s, standing at 6'5", that was pretty tall for back then, like really tall. So that led to what ended up being 55 years of roles in various movies, most notably including the knife-wielding murderer Splitface in the original Dick Tracy movie back in the 40s, as well as a role as a henchman in the Marilyn Monroe movie Some Like It Hot. And he had a cameo in the last year of his life in the remake of Dick Tracy with Warren Beatty back in 1990. I think Madonna was in that as well, if I recall correctly. Now, down in Mexico, masked luchador El Santo starred in numerous movies from 1958 all the way up to 1982. Huh. And he was the featured star in those, because masked wrestlers and luchadors are like a huge to-do in Mexico. Here's another pretty popular one. Weightlifter and pro wrestler Tosh Togo had the notable role of bad guy Oddjob in the 1964 James Bond film Goldfinger.
Huh. Yeah, that actually sounds familiar.
And he would go on to he would go on to have other numerous movie roles, and that Oddjob look would go on to be replicated by fellow Hawaiian wrestler and manager Mr. Fuji back in the 80s. And speaking of Bond, The Rock's grandfather, High Chief Peter Maivia, had a role as a motorist in the Bond film You Only Live Twice.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea of that. And there were a whole host of wrestlers in the movie The Wrestler. No, not the one from a decade ago with Mickey Rourke, but the originally titled The Wrestler with Ed Asner of the Mary Tyler Moore Show fame back in 1974. Too many to list here. And then there's one here that falls in the TIL category, as the kids say, meaning Today I Learned. Okay, maybe, I don't know. Do the kids? You don't know if the kids say that?
I
Okay.
don't know. I haven't heard it much.
There we go. But in one of my favorite movies, The Muppet Movie, there was a wrestler cameo of H.B. Haggerty, standing for Hard Boiled Haggerty. He played a lumberjack in the El Sleazo Cafe, and he was the one who twirled and tossed Kermit the Frog across the bar, and Kermit caught onto the ceiling fan and then got flung into the piano, if you remember.
Yeah, I remember that. I actually watched that movie, so that sounds a little bit familiar.
Yeah. That threw me for a loop. I was like, there was a wrestler cameo among all the other cameos in that movie. Milton Berle, Bob Hope, Richard Pryor. Yeah, I could go on the rest of the hour. Then you head to the 80s, where larger roles come into play, most notably Hulk Hogan's role of Thunder Lips in the 1982 movie Rocky III. That's what propelled him to superstardom. And also Andre the Giant in the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Conan the Destroyer, as well as having a featured role in the 1987 film The Princess Bride.
Huh.
As
Wait,
Fezzik.
The Princess Bride?
Yeah, Andre the Giant.
Huh.
1987 also featured wrestler turned governor Jesse the Body Ventura in Arnold movies The Predator and The Running Man, I should say. Roddy Piper came to the mix here and there with films Hell Comes to Frogtown and They Live. I'm here to kick butt and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Love that line.
Same.
And, wow, there's so much more and no time to get it all in here. Tommy Lister, better known as Zeus, had numerous roles, but he came into prominence with the Hulk Hogan movie No Holds Barred. For a timely holiday classic, there's Paul White, known as The Big Show. He played a giant Santa in the movie Jingle All the Way. Plus, he was also Captain Insano in the Adam Sandler movie The Water Boy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Kevin Nash had a bunch of roles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 was his first one, and then most recently the stripper Tarzan in those Magic Mike movies.
Oh.
Yeah, oh. And of course, The Rock came into prominence for acting in the 2000s and has made the most successful transition, without a doubt. And mixed in there in 2002, my all-time favorite wrestler, Randy Savage, Macho Man, who was Bonesaw in Tobey Maguire's version of Spider-Man. And very recently, Dave Bautista having major roles in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. But that just scratches the surface, as there's, according to Internet Movie Database, over 1,600 films with pro wrestlers in them. And with that, I left maybe about a minute and a half for birthdays. Not even going to play the clip. Birthday! Yeah. All right, 2 plus 2 Brucey bonuses. Thankfully, they're short. On this date in 1949, Donald Wayne Johnson was born. The Golden Globe award-winning actor, known for playing the role of James Sonny Crockett in the 80s TV series Miami Vice, and had the lead role in the 90s cop series Nash Bridges, and in January 2010 was a guest co-host of WWE Monday Night Raw. Known professionally as Don Johnson, he turned 69 today. And on this date in 1979, Jeremy Fritz was born, the former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, pretty much won every title, including the one of the women's tag titles in TNA. And current SmackDown star, better known as Eric Young, he turns 39 today. And now to the Brucey bonuses, things outside of the world of wrestling. On this date in 1933, Thomas Daniel Conway was born. The actor, writer, and comedian known from sitcoms McHale's Navy and most notably The Carol Burnett Show. Also playing the title character in the Dorf series of comedy films, and most recently the voice of Barnacle Boy in the SpongeBob SquarePants animated series. known professionally as Tim Conway, turns 85 today. And on this date in 1972, Rodney Scott Harrison was born, the two-time Super Bowl winning NFL safety and current analyst and commentator for Sunday Night Football, turns 46 today. Man, the hour just flew by here.
Truly.
Teddy Faw's up next. He's got Country Roads and the Country Roads Memory Spotlight artist, Anne Murray. Oh, that should be a goodie. Good to hear from the Snowbird there. And we'll be back next week with a recap of TLC, and we'll figure out what other out-of-wrestling context to get into here to bring Mitch up to speed.
Yep.
But until next week, where we've got more fun and stuff, play us out, Nutsy.
1 o'clock and all's well.
Speak Your Piece with Pat Wanling, weekdays at noon.